Hi guys!
Hello guys.
What's up everyone? Welcome back to another one of our videos. This is Sam and Olga and Joshua with us today. So usually our segments are called Relationship Detox. But for today we're diverting a little bit and we just decided to talk about current events, everything that's been going on around the world, given the protests and what's been happening in the States and all of that stuff. And I think it's just kind of befitting for us to put our 2 cents into it. You know,
Well, more importantly, since the issue at hand or at stake is about race, I mean, we are along the lines, as you can see.
Doesn't get any more blatant than that, right?
Yeah.
It's just so much to say, right? And there's been just so many things going on through our minds that it's even hard to know where to start talking about these issues. That's why we haven't really come out before talking about this, because we just needed to gather our thoughts, but we realized there's just so much. We just decided just to kind of talk, right? So maybe you go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, what I wanted to say about this whole issue is I stand with a lot of people when I say we don't condone any violence of any kind,
right?
You know,
in terms of the riots,
in terms of I mean, violence is violence. And then when you go to the next step of actually murdering or killing someone, that's even
that kind of negates the whole
that's
purpose.
even you know. Now I have watched a lot of videos and listened to a lot of people talk about this issue. And when I say a lot, I mean I have listened to a lot of people, and I hear pockets of their versions and even what this whole riots or what this whole demonstration is all about. Some are saying it's about race. Some are saying it's about
injustice,
police brutality in the States, and a whole lot of other things that you can.
And then others again are saying that that this is all political, that it has really nothing to do with race, that they're making us think that it's about race, but really it's to push a political agenda. And what I said to Sam this morning is that it's funny how you watch one program and you know, you are almost convinced that this is what the situation is, and they're all you know, like all of the facts and all of the arguments that are brought up for one side, they're all kind of backed up by these sources or those sources, or you know, historic whatever, right? And then you come across a video or like a TV show or a docuseries that talks about the exact opposite of that, and they also bring you know, supposedly legitimate kind of you know, backups or sources, you know, where they get their information from, right? So it's really hard to really pin something down and say, okay, this is the truth and this is what's happening. It's really difficult because on the one hand, when all these riots started and people were complaining on the one hand that why are you wrecking houses, and, you know, setting houses on fire and businesses on fire and all of these things, right? But to me, having watched videos of oppression and really what has been happening to some people, and then in the back of my mind knowing that this has been going on for years and decades and even centuries, right? For all you know, right? I understood the reason behind the whole riots, right? Because people's emotions are involved, right? And it's kind of like if you are being pinned against the wall for a long time, eventually you're gonna fight back. And I was kind of thinking of, it's not that you are trying to fix a wrong by doing another wrong. It's more of retaliation based on oppression that has been going on for decades and decades and decades. And it's an understandable human response to what's happening, because obviously the world, the politicians, whoever, they have not been listening for all these years, and it's kind of like reaching its peak. where people are so filled with
Yeah.
rage and anger
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, I understand that some sort of violence or
Yeah.
like revolts is inevitable.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. If you get hit in the face, you're gonna defend yourself by hitting back, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but then on the other hand, we have also come across individuals that are portraying this whole thing as just that this is what the media wants us to see.
To see, yeah.
There is no such thing as police brutality targeted towards
Yeah.
black people. That's just what they make it out to be, and they
Yeah.
come with their statistics and their facts. And even people of color are the ones that are sitting down on TV shows saying that this is all bogus,
Yeah.
that racism and that we are less privileged and all that stuff, it's all crap. Yeah, and they all back that up with their statistics or what have you, right?
Yeah.
And they all have statistics.
Yep.
But then we all know that the statistics can be manipulated.
Exactly.
But now we're like at the point, which ones are manipulated? Maybe both sides are
Maybe
manipulated.
both sides, yeah.
It's so
Now-
hard to really pick a side,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, right?
I mean, yeah, it is. It is difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, you're seeing footage of police brutalities, right,
Yeah.
taking place all over. You know, live on people's cell phones.
Right.
So how do you also look at that and say, hey, this is not true? You know,
Right.
like it that is a damning evidence. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's
And
a damning
yeah,
evidence.
the thing
I
is,
mean-
nobody's disputing. That's the thing. Nobody's disputing that what is happening is a good thing, or trying to like
Yeah.
make excuses for it.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, what I'm trying to get at. That even if it's all politicized, it doesn't make it okay to be killing people
Yeah.
in the name of politics or
Yes,
in the name of
exactly,
religion or in the name of
exactly,
anything.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
never okay.
Yeah.
It is never
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, killing people is just wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't care what they have done.
Done. Yeah.
I don't care if they're criminals.
Yeah.
I don't care if they are drug addicts
Yeah.
or whatever. It is not any
Let them
human
go
being's
through. Yeah.
job or like it's not
Don't be the executioner.
executioner. Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever that person did, it's not up to us humans to decide whether that person deserves to live or die.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not. And
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the death penalty.
And
I just don't believe
Yeah,
that.
and sweetie, there is a process. There's a due process.
Right.
So when you commit a crime, there is a process that you go through.
Yeah.
You know, I believe what this riots or protesting is going on has turned out to be is because of all these senseless killings. That is happening. It's not just one incident. George Floyd's case was just
The tip of the iceberg.
the tip of the
right.
iceberg, or just the climax of what has been going on,
Yeah.
and especially black folks' hearts and minds for a long time. Like they have been fuming, they have been fuming for a long time, and you can agree that George Floyd was actually truly the climax, because before George Floyd there were 2 or 3 other ones that happened in that same manner, which also were just senseless. So yeah, I believe I understand actually why there's pain, there's anger, there's all these kinds of negative emotions that goes into. So a peaceful protest can actually just easily ignite and lead to
Into
something
more than that, like,
more
like
than that.
riots and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I understand. However, that doesn't make it
That doesn't make it okay.
okay. Yeah,
Yes,
that's the point.
exactly. I think what yeah.
Okay, we're talking about police brutalities. Are all the cops exercising that excessive force on people? No, there are good ones out there. So we're only just focusing, and I believe this demonstration or protesting is all about, hey, we want justice. The injustices that is being going on,
Exactly.
it's just what we need. Just fix that.
Right. And I
Let
think,
the playing
yeah.
field be fair
exactly,
to everyone.
Exactly.
And
it's
that
just
is
like,
just that simple message.
yeah.
You
And
know?
it's like when it comes to equality, right? Equality is not just having the same rights as everyone else,
Yeah.
but I think equality also means that everybody should be punished according to the law,
Yeah.
like everyone else.
Like everyone else.
Right?
That's all.
So if this police officer obviously murdered this guy in
Yeah.
broad daylight in front of cameras, like, I mean, he should
what else
be
could be
punished exactly the same way as someone else that would have committed such a crime.
Yeah,
right?
and not just him, but there were accomplices too as well.
Yeah, for sure.
The three other officers.
Whether it has political backgrounds or not doesn't matter, right? That's besides the point, right? It's just wrong, and I believe that some people, they just kind of do nothing because they're kind of where we are right now. They don't really know what to believe, right? Because there's so many different pieces of information and different sources and different influences that are out there that it is really hard for you to really pick what you want to believe in, right? So then they just don't do anything. But I believe that's also not going to solve the problem. Because but the thing is that this has probably been going on forever.
Oh yeah, I mean before we even came on doing this video, I made actually we watched this documentary called The 13th
on Netflix.
On Netflix, just so to acquaint ourselves more, to just get a more detailed understanding of what the history is all about, when it comes to black folks and in America in particular, just to let her understand a little bit, so that because a lot of white people honestly don't like when we say white privilege, they get confused, and and they should, because what do you mean by white privilege?
Because I guess they don't understand that the life that we are living as whites is normal. That's just how everybody's living.
To them, it's normal.
Understand that this is actually a privileged life compared to other groups of people.
So, for example, what would be normal for her to do or to engage in, that might not be normal for me, because I would have to do 2-3 times more to prove myself first before I can even engage in that normal.
And I can attest to that when it comes to work. It started in when we were in Canada, and now here in Germany. That kind of discrimination does actually go on, and I do understand that because I've been living with him for almost 12 years, and I've been there. I've been around when things like that happen. So I do understand, but it's just like all the bad stuff, let's say that's been happening to him in America, it seems like it's times 100. Right?
Yeah, honestly,
it's just to the extreme.
In America, it's just
right? Based on what we see, right? But then other people tell us, well, that's just what they want you to see. That's actually not what's happening, and this is where the confusion comes in. Who do you believe now, right? It's really frustrating. But the bottom line is obviously all lives matter. Obviously, right? That is why I said no matter how or for what backgrounds a person gets killed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make it right. And just because it's been happening for a long time anyway to people, to groups of minorities or what have you, doesn't mean that it's okay for you also just to sit and do nothing about it. Because you think that it's not going to make a difference. And one thing I believe is that one of the reasons why the world is the way it is because good people choose to do nothing. And they sit back and think, well, it's been happening anyway, or what is my voice gonna do? Like, nobody's gonna listen to me anyway, so let me just stay out of it. That's also not gonna help. So if either way, let's say if you do, participate in something, and I say it doesn't help, at least it's on your record that you have tried to do something, right? I think if either way nothing is going to happen, at least for me, I would know that, okay, well, at least I tried and I did what was in my power, right? To do what's right based on my perception of things, right? So it's like there's a lot of wrongs going on.
A lot of wrongs,
and it's like everything is so twisted and strange, and it's just like the confusion is just up to here, So it's almost like your core values are being challenged when you encounter situations like these. So it's really unsettling anyway.
I just want to say, especially when you talk about Black Lives Matter, I know a lot of people have different views and different understanding about what it actually means. We're not saying it's only Black lives that matter. We're saying all lives matter. But in addition to all lives matter, our lives also matter. Like, don't forget about us.
because they haven't
like
mattered in the past.
Thank you.
Right?
That is all.
It's like all lives matter is a sowieso.
It's a given
in Germany, right? It's a given. That one
given.
is yeah.
So
that's a given.
They are only stressing on the ones that haven't been murdered, in a long time, for decades and centuries, So that is what the voice is for. That is what a demonstration, on the streets of America and the world actually are saying. Like, hey, listen, I think it's time.
Yeah,
it's time for.
This is like what I'm saying, like this other type of confusion that comes in, right? You have these protests and like Black Lives Matter in the States, and then you have sources that tell you that it's actually all political, because they only protest when a white cop kills a black man, but if a black man kills another black man, then nobody stands up at all. So that's what makes it seem like it's political, and that these people are being basically paid to do all these things. To swing votes in a certain direction. But then again, are they paying the whole world to protest?
That's the point.
For Black Lives Matter, right?
And by the way,
I don't believe that.
And by the way, Black Lives Matter, that also includes black on black crimes too as well.
Well, it should.
It's not just white cops killing black people. No. This is not any kind of killing. It's just not accepted.
No, and
so
that's the thing.
It does not exclude black on black crimes.
It shouldn't. It just seems like you only see them riot up and rally up if it's a white person killing a black person, right? And I think that is where a lot of people take issue. Where you have to think a little bit. Like, is it really about really Black Lives Matter, or is it about dragging white people in the mud? And this is where you have to
I mean, and also if it's about race issue, hey, it's 2020, it's 2020. We shouldn't be going back to
1700s.
Like, come on, guys, it's 2020.
Where black people were only seen as 3/5 of a person. Good Lord, when I saw that in the documentary yesterday, I was just shaking my head. I couldn't even do anything more than that, just shaking my head. I was at a loss for words.
I just want to say, let's all come together and live in peace. You don't have to like me, but just respect me as a human being, not the color that you see. Whereby when you see me, I'm guilty before I prove innocent. When it should be the other way around, And I think when that happens, we'll all go way far and forward in life, and there will be much more peaceful.
And you know what? This is why it's important for people like us to be out there, because we are completely the opposite of each other, but it works. And that's why we are making these videos, to show everyone that it works. It can work if you want it to work.
If you want it to work, it will work. I mean,
everything that, like, racism and
it's
all
all
this stuff, it's all
nonsense.
man-made. And it's all taught to make one race seem superior to another, when it's not.
You don't know somebody and you hate this person with every fiber in your vein. Like, it's crazy when you think about it.
The thing is, what I wanted to say is, because some people argue too that, like I said, some people say that the whole racism thing is just bogus and it's all propaganda, but it does exist, and whatever happens in the States, because that's where it kind of originated from, affects people here even who have nothing to do with America, and who have nothing to do with black people. Because I know firsthand, when I came and introduced Sam to my friend and her family, her mom, like I said, has nothing to do with America. She doesn't even speak a word of English. And I think before Sam, she has met maybe 1 or 2 black people in her life. But she doesn't know anything about their culture, about their history. She doesn't know anything at all. And with her not knowing anything, she still says, "Oh, sorry guys, this guy's not happy about something."
I just got to.
She was still telling me that, yes, I don't have nothing against black people, but I wouldn't want any of my kids to be involved with them in terms of relationship wise. And I'm thinking, why? You don't know anything about them, and you already. And I asked her why, and she said, "Oh, because the culture is gotta be so different. It's not gonna. It's just gonna be too difficult." Well, okay, if that's your opinion, that's fine.
Yeah.
But she's bringing it onto her kids, whereby now the kids need her approval, right, of who they date. And it's never going to be a person of color, but not because they're not interested, but because of what they've been fed throughout their childhood.
So this
which is baseless. This is my point, and this is how far the influence reaches. Yeah.
So then again, when people talk about systemic racism, this is how it also, plays out.
Right. By the way, I debunked that theory because her daughter was with someone who was her own race, her own country, her own everything, and they ended up in divorce because they had nothing in common.
I mean, the bottom line is, look, I don't care if you're green, blue, white, whatever if you want stuff to make it work, you find ways and means to make things work, and it's just that simple. Like I said, we put all these negative things in our, in us, and create this what was the create something that is not there,
Right. Create boundaries
and
not boundaries,
unnecessary,
create these divisions.
and
that's what it happens. It starts from home. If you really want to get at this whole racial discrimination thing, it starts at home.
It definitely starts from there.
Talk to and teach their children. Right?
That's where
starts from home,
from the micro level, and then so that's where,
because I have parents who were always open. And when I developed my when I was kind of leaning towards more towards, like, black people in terms of who I was attracted to, my dad came home one day and actually said, "Guess what? I've got 2 black guys working with me. I need to introduce you."
By the way, I'm not part of.
No, that was before.
I'm not part of that introduction. I wasn't there.
Yeah, no. That was. But my point is, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Everybody's the same.
Like open-mindedness.
Everybody is equally valuable, right? And it has nothing to do with what they look like. That's how I grew up. And I ended up meeting the love of my life. Right. And then my friend was raised differently, where the differences, even though they don't even know really what the differences are, because they don't know anybody from that culture, they will always been, the emphasis has always been put on different. They're different. And different somehow always is bad. Which is nonsense. Which to me, different is the reason why I was interested in wanting to know more.
Just because you are different from me, it's what attracts me to you.
Exactly.
I want to learn. I want to know more. I want to know more adventures that I wouldn't have been, introduced to, or being faced with,
Exactly.
So we learn from each other. She learns from my culture. I learn from her culture. Together.
So now, so I mean, I was just kind of pointing out the differences. This is how I grew up, and look at me now, and this is how my friend grew up, and she won't even think about dating someone outside of her race. But my point is not because it's really her choice; it's because it's something just, that has been embedded in her from childhood,
ingrained.
That different is not something positive. But then, but I mean, okay, if that's how they want to live their lives, that is their prerogative, right? They can do whatever they want. It's just
the sun is a little bit.
It's just anyway, we're done. We're almost done anyway. Look at 23 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But basically, I'm just saying that it's unfortunate that if you don't enlighten and educate yourself and your kids on those matters, your kids and even yourself, you're going to be missing out on very, very beautiful relationships.
Exactly.
Based on something that's complete crap, bogus, and made up nonsense.
So if anything, those are the real made up stuff. That one should be worried about, not, the pure damning evidences that we've been seeing, So guys, I mean, like she said it from the beginning, this is a little digression, because I mean it just feels good and right for us to you know, touch on what's been going on lately, and again, since we are also two different, you know, race here, so it just speaks to or speaks volumes, and you know, hopefully it might help somebody out there.
I mean, we could be standing here talking about this for hours. So you guys are more than welcome to put your comments. Tell us what you were thinking about this whole situation, and any stories that maybe you want to share with us. We really appreciate it, and we're always looking forward to those. So I guess until next time, we hope there's not going to be another tragedy to talk about. So we're just gonna try and get back to our relationship talks. So guys. Oh, and by the way,
that's it.
On another note, just a heads up, we're going to be launching our very own podcast very soon. Don't have an exact date yet, but within the next month or so, I would say. Within that range. Just so you guys are aware, that's what's going to be coming up. And so, stay tuned for that.
And guys, with that, you've been detoxed.
Bye.
Bye.